Make no mistake. This right here is going down in your town. What happens in Venezuela happens to you. What happens to our brothers and sisters in Venezuela happens to you. Remember, we're understanding things from a Western Hemisphere perspective. You know what I'm saying? We've lived our lives thinking, east, and now it's like if everybody's been saying east, it got to be going down on the west side. Ain't that going against the grain? I mean, the scholars, everybody, go back over there. Everyone wants to kick us back over there or take us politically back over there. Everybody. How can everybody be right? Does that make sense? Or are we just now learning to drop? This is in Venezuela, happening today. On you. I mean, it's like, this is crazy. And you know that this is exactly orchestrated, you know what I mean? And please believe it's a testing ground. So, remember, Venezuela is America. It is the Americas. Let's go.
Venezuela is at the verge of a food crisis. This started years ago when they confiscated farmlands, confiscated companies and businesses, and regulated the prices. Food is getting so scarce that there hasn't been flour available often, and therefore you see these crazy scenes when it gets available. But now, it's more and more empty shelves that meet the shoppers in the stores. There are mile-long lines to get to the stores, and sometimes when they arrive, there is nothing there to buy.
Look at it.
This is a line in Anzoátegui last Saturday, measured to be over 1 kilometer long.
Look at that line. Look at that line.
In our polls, about 60% of the people say that they're unable.
Now, I just want you to think about what's going to happen in the hood near you. It's always a test. What happened to our brothers and sisters with all that Ebola stuff in West Africa and all that. I mean, that's our family, right? So it's always a test. They just want to see the reactions. You know what I mean? So this is coming to a hood near you. Believe that. I don't think they're going to stop this thing. The companies, the corporations are purposely keeping food out of Venezuela. These people are starving. Some of these people you're about to see ain't ate in like days, man. No flour. They're jacking like live chicken trucks, man. Snatching live chickens out. They're eating out of trash cans, garbage cans. Regular people that have regular jobs just like you are eating out of trash cans. In a matter of days. Economic collapse. Look at what's about to pop. It's unbelievable to me that anybody would be against movement. You know what I'm saying? When one brother says, hey, this might make sense to migrate to the four corners the way that our ancestors have been migrating for thousands of years. We've never just stayed in one place when it's going down. Whose philosophy says sit still and do nothing? Does it make sense to sit still and do nothing? Is that scripture? Do nothing and just chill. No, man. We listen. We keep our commandments. And we wake up and be a tribe again. This is coming to a hood near you. So what's your plan coming to a hood near you? These people are eating out of trash cans. When we talking about going camping, there's animals. The people there have been, told, it's against regulations, of course, to hunt any animals in Zion National Park and all that. But that's them, right? I mean, isn't it your land? Don't those animals belong to you? Fresh water within the mountains. I'm not selling you on a dream. I'm selling you on reality. If this is coming to a hood near you, where do you want to be? What, can you hurry and jump and do a backflip into South America real quick? Make a dash forward to Peru? What do you tell the young homie in the hood asking me, Kingdrop, man, what's the plan, man? This shit is getting real. What do you tell him? Hey, little homie, I know you 13. I hope you can make it to South America, though. That's the only place to go. What else do you tell him? Oh, just chill, man. Do nothing. Don't go nowhere. It's all good. It's okay that your cities are encompassed with armies. Nah, man, I tell the little homie, man, get a backpack, get some camping gear. You know what I mean? Stop buying Jordans. Because you know they got a little change, some of them. My little homies got change, man. Man, stop buying them J's and buy this. And suit up. And you'll know when it's time to rock and roll. At least you ain't got to go too far, man. You in Cali. Here's where you can meet me when it goes down. You get there when you can get there. Figure it out now, man. Start making that transition now if you can. No one has to wait for anything or anybody. You know what I'm saying? We're just talking about going to the wilderness, learning how to be, self-sufficient so that when it goes down like this in the grocery stores, what you're about to see, that ain't you in the wilderness. Is it?
To find the food they need. And this has led to plundering, such as here in San Felix, or here when they try to break into store to find something to eat. This was in San Felix, Bolivar State, the other weekend, and one person was shot dead by the police in the riot. Here you see Valencia to the right, where they broke in and thrown things down from the shelves. Here is a plundering of a truck that was accident and
this
loaded
is going
with
down right now in real time.
Chicken, so they just
wake up,
that.
Suit up.
Here was a collision with a truck carrying beer, and they stopped and plundered it right in front of the police, who did nothing to prevent.
Look at homie, chilling.
Here is another beer truck they plundered when it arrived to deliver the merchandise. Since the price is regulated in Venezuela, it's much cheaper there than in neighboring Colombia, and therefore a lot of the merchandise and food is smuggled over the border. Here you see bachiqueros, like they're called, regular people smuggling it over on motorbikes on a plank over the river between Venezuela to the left and Colombia to the right. In other parts of the border, the military itself is smuggling the food out of the country and contributing it to the shortage of food.
On purpose.
The reason why it's got to be like that is because of a combination of several very unfortunate politics by the regime. These include that it's prohibited to buy in quantity. It's prohibited to store food at home except for the immediate need.
Sound familiar? What happens when people try to stock up, like for real stock up, with like 6 months of water, you know what I mean? What happens? They get labeled a what? Starts with a T. You can do it. Domestic, all this domestic stuff, all this stuff that they are, orchestrating left and right. You know it's coming. It's in your scripture. It is prophesied. You can rest. And know that we're not supposed to be going chaotic like these people are. We are supposed to be rejoicing and planning and moving and having movement. Looking a direction, turning towards a direction. Hearing the voice within, knowing where to be. Yeah, you can sit still, you can not go nowhere. The Most High Supreme can do whatever He wants to save you. Absolutely. I believe that 1,000. You don't got to be one place. But if you could get to a place and start learning to be a community again, could that not be a sufficient thing? You know what I'm saying? So that's something on GP that once you wake up and you're a slave, is it not your reaction to be free? when we talk about looking towards the wilderness and being self-sufficient, are we talking freedom? I think we're talking freedom. We're not just talking, oh, here's a movement. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Lex Will wants to do this and do that. No, the brother has a brilliant plan, a brilliant understanding of the scripture. He doesn't leave the scripture. When he talks about it, I come with the energy I come with. When he talks about it, it's scripture, scripture, scripture. So if you want to take it down, you got to take down scripture. And you go see him. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I commend the brother for stepping out there, because somebody got to be out there to take all these shots. People want somebody to be perfect when they're just trying to give you drop. No one has to meet your standards of perfection. Just listen for the drop. Does it resonate? Does it vibrate in the scripture? To start looking towards the wilderness again. Should we wait for that in the cities, the man-made cities, when you know you're a slave? And say, oh, the government is fighting over what? With the feds and the state? The feds and the state. 770 million acres of your land they're fighting. The state used to be a little more generous and kind of give it back to some people. The feds ain't letting it go to nobody. Got all these reserves, all these national parks, all these things like that set up on land that was survived on for thousands of years. And then you could look in the book of Isaiah, where it says this barren land will come back to life again. So this desert, you see desert, who wants to live in the desert? You read in Isaiah, the prophet, saying, the barren land will come back to life. That it would look plentiful like the what? Garden of Eden. That's in your book of Isaiah. So you have to imagine barren land becoming something like the Garden of Eden with fruitful trees and all this stuff. Read it. I believe it's Isaiah 39. Hopefully that's right. So, you know, there's a powerful inner feeling that we're talking about. It's a powerful inner voice we're talking about. And when I hear someone talking that language, I heed it. So when I heard Lex Will talking that, I heard it. I wasn't just listening. You know what I'm saying? It was a feeling. It was like, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because when it goes down, can you run back to Africa? No. When it goes down, can you hop, skip to South America? No. If it goes down and they closing borders, then the wilderness might be all you got. You can't wait till they start closing borders and think you're going to get past the border. If you're going to go, you know, do you. But when we're talking about a community of people, kids and 12 years old, you know what I'm saying, teenagers, and what are they going to do? Homeless people. What do you tell your homeless brother? I'm saying, yo, man, wherever you at, man, try to get near these four corners. Bum a ride. Bum a ride if you got to. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what you got to do on your own. It ain't got to be one person leading nothing. It's just, doesn't it sound like a great idea as a community when you see this shit happening? It's going to keep happening. Again, this is the Americas. This is not the other side of the world.
It's prohibited to transport food within the countries. You can't bring it from a region with a surplus to one with a deficit. And it's also prohibited to sell at market price because the price is regulated, as I say. And therefore the manufacturer can't afford to bring food in. They are calling this
look at that,
guerra economica.
They're just keeping the food away.
War, but that's not what it is. This is just idea that the communists have, that private sector, like here, the owner of Polar, who makes the biggest company that makes food in Venezuela, the regime believes that they are waging some kind of war against them. That is pure fantasy. The real reason for these riots is that the regime is implementing communist politics that does not work, that leads to famine, that leads to hunger,
Oh,
that leads to
orchestrate.
disaster. We've seen it in country after country after
All
country.
orchestrated.
And they repeat the same idiotic, mistaken politics here in Venezuela. And now it's getting to the point where 60% do not have food to eat in our
This is
homes.
today.
This may be very, very serious unless something is done about it quickly.
Prepárense para un tiempo de masacre y de muerte.
Man. Alright, hold on. Let me get to this other one. So we understand what's going on. Love to y'all, man. Love to the family. Get my face-to-face time on you right quick. Like that there. Now check this out, man. People literally eating out of trash cans, man. So, you know, nobody wants to see that, but sometimes you gotta see it so you know it's real. This is happening today.
Right here, you're seeing middle class and regular people just pulling over to join in the ambush and looting of a grocery truck. This happened on the way down the highway to Puerto Ordaz,
neighborhood near you.
where the country's biggest oil reserve and steel company is. This is
New York City,
footage, graphic
LA.
Here. You're watching right now. The people
St.
on camera
Louis
are saying they're ripping through garbage bags outside restaurants and shopping malls, and they're starving. People here are eating dog food. Basically, the middle class has been demolished in
Frisco,
Venezuela.
Oakland.
90% tax rate on entrepreneurs. So that's the graphic footage you're looking
Inglewood.
at right now. Those are people
Everybody,
ripping
man.
through garbage
It's happening
bags,
to you.
searching for food to eat because they're starving. That's the voiceover on camera. So what's happening right now, gang, Maria, is that Maduro has declared a
Eating out the trash.
two-month state of emergency till July. That means the military is going to crack.
A lot of people never been hungry before. You know, we got to really realize this. Like, a lot of people ain't never been hungry. Even if it's, you know, been eating shit, like government shit, like we still don't know what that is. And I think it's for a reason. It's like, they want to wait until they let us experience that. Because when we do, we're going to flip the hell out. People that you think you know, you ain't going to know. Like, you think you know when they get hungry. Like, these people are hungry. Where do you want to be? Is this what you're going to see in the wilderness? Out here, you're going to see 440. What are you going to see in the wilderness? What is the wilderness? What are we talking about here? What have we been dropping and researching for hours and hours and hours? We got hundreds of hours of information. What does it mean? What's the vibration? What are you going to choose? It's a decision. You can stay back and kick it, but you know this is going to be 440 in a city near you. It already is, if you got your eyes open. So perhaps the wilderness is unknown, but do you want to face the unknown, the wilderness, or the known? This is known. This is what you know is going to happen. You know this is going to happen. In your inward self, you know this is going to happen in a city near you. You know that already. 100. Keep it true. Over here is the unknown. You might have to walk out of. You might just have to walk out of there. You gotta mighty moonwalk out of there. Moonwalk out the city. You understand? Come on, man. I'm trying to make this cool, but you know this ain't cool.
There's fears of a news blackout. Maduro and the Venezuelan government will not accept medical help from the outside from the World Health Organization.
All right. So, I just wanted to catch you up on Venezuela. Some other stuff you can look at yourself. Just go to YouTube, Venezuela food, whatever, and just click on the filter and just say most recent or whatever that is. You know what I mean? On to some other things. I did a drop, you know, like a 2-minute drop about what this thing is in the sky. You know, I mean, a lot of us is just looking around, but we ain't really looking up. Something is up there, and if we understand the flat drop, we understand that these planets are not terra firma, that nothing has left this the firmament. These people, man, when y'all realize the amount of money that's been I mean, everybody that's gonna be that's kind of involved in space and in that whole field, and anybody tied to them, I mean, they're gonna come at them all, man, for this hoax, man. You gotta think about it. You know, if you had to control a people, which motto would you give them? I don't care what you believe. You might believe you're on a spinning ball. That's cool. You might believe this is a flat plane. All right. So, what would you give? Which motto would you give someone that you wanted to control and that you hated with all your heart? Would you say, here's the infinite flat earth? There's land everywhere. Resources are everywhere. There's land over there we don't even know. Go that way. See it for yourself. Let us know what you find. Or would you say, there's only this much land, and by the way, you're going like this. So consciously, you're going to be spinning, and you can't really see what we're doing with the other hand because you're too busy spinning. Consciously. You're conscious, but you're spinning. Can you be consciously spinning? Or is that like a subconscious situation? I think when you're conscious, you stop spinning and you look straight. And you plant yourself underneath your feet, and you know this is your territory, your land, and you've been invaded. And the war has never ceased because none of your ancestors have told you that the war is over. That you're from here. And the war happened here. The war is happening now. And now, man, is the final finale. I mean, you got to choose up for your sake, your family, man, whatever you got to do. I see this 440, what y'all just saw. And then I think about my family. Then I say, do I want them around this? I mean, which one is more abusive to you? To have your child around what you just saw and you know it's coming to a hood near you. Remember, I'm from Inglewood. You dig? So I know it's coming to my city because I see the state of the grocery stores and the routes right now, and their shelves are crappy anyway compared to the stores in Marina Del Rey and all those other spots. You know what I'm saying? So I already know that this is about to hit my block first. So what's more abusive? To sit back and do nothing? What do I tell the little homies? Just arm themselves and attack police? No, man, that's sick. I say, man, you have a land. It's yours. Your family died for. Take it. It's yours. Pick up a bow and arrow. Learn how to shoot bow and arrows. Learn how to hunt again. Learn how to hunt for your own organic food that's on your land for you. Drink fresh water. Learn how to purify water. Learn these survival skills. Learn how to tie a rope. Come on, man. Our children used to be warriors. Now they play video games. Now we party and do all these other things. We have all these careers, but none of them is community first. So in this system, I have a career. I'm trying to get on top of somebody else, right? That's a sick way. We learned this sadistic way of thinking. I need to be better than you. I got to be higher than you, and I'm going to pull you up because I'm so high. In the community, everybody's high. You dig? All of your talents go back into the community. No one has to charge anyone for anything. And if you want to barter, you barter with real things, not paper, not plastic. Rich people are going to see how rich they are not when they try to take their rich money out the banks. They don't get the percent they think they're going to get. And those numbers vanish in an instant in the computer electronic grid circuit that says you're rich, then says you're fucked. And then you're going to want to know how to hunt. where to be. And these are things that, by survival, by virtue of freedom, you should want right now. But what's in the sky? I'm gonna let this guy talk about all these orbs around the sun that he's been watching. You know, I don't subscribe to whatever, you know, his whole situation is, but just pay attention to the images. You know, he's pretty good from what I see at combing through the bullshit. So if he sees lens flares, he calls it out real quick. If it's a fake, he'll yell at somebody for sending him the fake. So he's one of those guys. So I appreciate, you know, some level of honesty when it comes to this. So you tell me what we're seeing, and we'll wrap it up. My battery might be going soon, so let's go.
Where he had these chemtrails coming right over the blue dot, similar to what we saw in the rearview mirror of the guy from Virginia. So you can kind of see that this is not a lens flare. It was definitely, they were trying to cover it up. This is what he saw from Colorado. So this is one of the pictures that we missed in terms of being able to show it on this morning's this morning's YouTube video. Okay. Now check out this recording or this photograph. So basically, I received this photograph from the Norfolk in the British Isles, which, as you know,
pay attention to this little dot right there. I mean, these little orbs are popping up in different infrared, different lighting systems.
By an interesting note, which I'd like
these
to read.
entities.
And I don't want to show you this because I don't want to compromise the identity of the person that provided this. Hi, Steve. I've been impressed by your videos on the YouTube. I'm in possession of knowledge to back up the real existence of a blue dwarf star in orbit around the sun since 2009. Now, this is a theory that I've played with before, but let's listen. It was originally invisible to the human eye, such as that astronomers thought it better to make no mention of it. At that stage, it was only luminescent in the ultraviolet and X-ray part of the spectrum. It still puts out UV and X-ray, but since it's now absorbing solar mass, it is now visible to the human eye as the blue dwarf star, roughly about the size of Jupiter.
Whoa.
However, unlike Jupiter, this high...
They're gonna give you the drop. You just gotta catch it. Put your hand out, man. Huh? Stop thinking and just act. Put your hand out. This is about action, people. What you're seeing is action. 432. What are you about? Getting my people back their land. Oh, what's this 432 radio? I heard it's cool. This 432 Hertz thing. Man, y'all got the radio show pop? Yeah, but what is it about? I'm getting my people back home. It's yours, man. That shit ain't made up. The hell you waiting for? You can walk out of the illusion anytime you want. It's yours. You've seen the videos of people enjoying your land. When are you going to walk back on it? For your children's sake. What reality will they grow up in? Their own land? Or working in a corporation, for a corporation, in a land of a system of a corporation of the United States, taxing you. And again, your fictitious business title in all caps is not you. That is your straw man. That is another corporation. So I beg you the question, how can a corporation tax a corporation? Surely that's not you in court. That's your corporation. You're signing for it every day. Mortgages. You're paying mortgages on a corporation. That's not you. They are exploiting your ignorance. But let's see for ourselves what's really out there and what's really popping. These are not planets. These are entities. Angelic entities. And this is prophetic. You're seeing a dance in the sky and it's happening right above you.
Energy object, HEO 437 Kachina, is not a planet. It is a very heavy star and far older than the sun. I saw others were able to capture pictures of it, so I thought...
I want to go back a little second when he mentions Jupiter.
If I could catch a picture of it. With the exception of one picture, all the rest of the pictures were roughly about the size of Jupiter.
Roughly about the size of Jupiter.
However, unlike Jupiter, this high-energy object, HEO 437...
Now, why would he mention Jupiter? You think that's coincidental that we've been dropping and, once in a while we go into the Greek mythologies and we talk about Zeus being Jupiter and Iesous being Jesus. And Jesus is Iesous, is Zeus, is Jupiter, is the sun. The son of who? Saturn, Satan, Lucifer. The son of Lucifer himself is Christos, Christ, the anointed of the Greeks. Who the Greeks worship? Zeus. Doesn't it all come back to Jupiter? Why would he mention Jupiter? Oh, he said it's rough. I want to get this again. He said it's roughly the same size as Jupiter. Did we hear it correctly? Let's see.
At that stage, it was only luminescent in the ultraviolet and X-ray part of the spectrum. It still puts out UV and X-ray, but since it's now absorbing solar mass, it is now visible to the human eye as the blue dwarf star, roughly about the size of Jupiter.
Boom. If it's roughly about the size of Jupiter, and if these are not planets but angels, and he's saying that these are angels under the firmament, not the ones above, but the ones underneath. All right. Surely the Most High has his angels from above down here as well, guarding and protecting. So not every angel underneath the firmament is a fallen, demonic type of situation. But surely the fallen are here. And surely the Most High. You know, he's always very close to you. Trust me, it's all about you. So you got to understand, he's not far ever. He's always nearby. He's been closer than you think. Wait till you see. Wait until you see. So yeah, this is roughly the size of Jupiter. Oh, but it's not Jupiter because Oh, but you know, Revelations talks about Abaddon, Apollyon coming back, falling down like a star from heaven. Who's that? Apollyon, Apollo, Zeus, Jupiter. And as weird as it sounded, I was like, so Jupiter's coming back? The planet Jupiter's coming back and falling like a star from heaven? Yeah.
However, unlike Jupiter, this high-energy object, HEO 437 Kachina, is not a planet.
Kachina.
It is a very heavy star and far older than the sun. I saw others were able to capture pictures of it, so I thought to have a go with it with my mobile phone to see if I could catch a picture of it. With the exception of one picture, all the rest of the pictures were overexposures. This picture was taken on Sunday, May 29th at 11:15 UTC at Norfolk in the British Isles. And then furthermore, he says NASA and UCLA have confirmed the reality of this object, and they call it HEO.
NASA and UCLA confirmed.
Having arrived in 2009, it's a high-energy dwarf star, originally invisible to the human eye. It is devouring the sun, absorbing solar mass, thus it's becoming more visible to the human eye, etc., etc., just like we talked about. So just wanted to let you, kind of share this theory with them, but this is what else they said about it. Now, notice the higher levels of UV or ultraviolet light since it showed up in this time frame. Notice the uptick in earthquakes and volcanoes. Will it suck the sun into non-existence, thus bringing in an ice age? Again, this is just a theory, but this kind of corroborates with some of the stuff we saw from Mark Reed, where we saw this actual object and seemingly embedded into the sun, which was kind of an interesting photograph. Grumpy Moose is lighting up like a freaking Christmas tree lately. This is kind of a very common sight, but a very intense sight.
Pay attention.
Pascal seemed to have given us some kind of indication.
He's a different sources that he's accumulating. So he's accumulating. This guy does this. This is what he does, right? Now he thinks he's on a ball, and he thinks these are planets, and he thinks these are type. He doesn't understand, but it's okay because we can still get the babies out of it, understanding that these are angels, entities, not planets. These people that worship Mars are really worshiping angels. Saturn, angels, right? Everything is angels. All is vibration. That's not crazy, right? I'm not talking crazy. We're talking vibration. Levels of vibration. Very simple. We're just talking energy. Remember, we're in the energy business.
Behind the Lasco C2, just a very interesting thing. And then if you look at the, here's another look at it, and you can see it even a little clearer. Perhaps not. Let's just zoom in on it a little bit so you guys can see it better. But it appears to have some dimensionality to it. Just another interesting pickup. check this out. This is from George Creek Orchards from the 26th. But we've been seeing this kind of manifestation on different cameras, which just tells me that it's something credible because
What's that?
It's seen on different cameras. You know, it's not just one camera, one time. We used to see it on Italy all the time. But then Canada started showing some stuff up. And then check this one out. This is starting to get more and more pronounced. I'm seeing more and more pictures of this orb that's not a lens flare, that's not expressed as a lens flare, just out on its own out in the middle of nowhere. And that is a little disconcerting based on some 1996 prophecies we've heard. This goes in the category
Prophecy.
of flashing sun. So
Prophecy.
here's 2 different clips that were sent by a subscriber showing the flashing sun that they captured. And
The sun is flashing. Flashing sun. Are they faking this? Or is this weird things happening? And are all these signs? Why would the sun be flashing? Would it be saying, Israel, wake up? It's sending you waves, waves, waves to try to get through all the bombardment, all the chemtrails, all the aluminum and barium and desiccated blood they've been spraying. Is that why it's flashing? Remember, everybody's paying attention but Israel. Everybody thinks they're Israel but Israel. We're the ones fighting it the hardest because we're the most stubborn. I mean, you know, he said it, not me.
many people are testifying that they're seeing this but not capturing with cameras, but they can feel it and see it. Again, just another weird phenomenon that's kind of, following us around lately. Check this out. So this kind of goes to the Sam Hoffman, huge planet theory. And if you think about what BP said, if the dwarf stars in the asteroid belt and its orbiting planets are kind of, orbiting it, it would stand to reason that some of these planets would get close to us. But anyway, in this one, you can see the large kind of circular, image there. I mean, it's one of those things where we keep catching these shadows or whatever they look like, big planets.
Something's there. Something.
Okay, so let's get through a couple of a lot of good subscriber photographs that I have been getting through. But here's a picture where you can see the chemtrail and you can see the strange cluster, or what would we call that? I don't even know what I call that. Some kind of strange cloud, I guess. And then right above it, that kind of faint image of a large, body of some sort. So again, just seeing all this different evidence. Wow. These are the ones that are getting to me, though. The ones that we're getting, again, from the OptionC webcam. Here's a really good picture of a red body surrounded by, apparently, clouds. Very...
What's that? Can you see it? You see why they've been spraying? What are they trying to block your vision of? Again, you have to think of it as a flat plane. They're not going around the ball spraying. This stuff is not popping up all around your ball. This is right above everybody. That's why everybody's been seeing the same sun and moon in the sky at the same time. Everywhere across. Everywhere across the plane. We all are going to look up and see the Most High return. He does exist. We all are going to look up and see the firmament open in the brilliant light. Everything's above. Water's above. Water's below. So this is approaching a hood near you.
Very compelling photograph. Very compelling. And then this one is in Santiago, Chile. I don't know what to make of this one, quite frankly, but it could be just a little cloud pattern or formation. But let's just zoom in on it and see what we can see here. But again, these are the kinds of things that I am taking a look at with the Sam Hoffman stuff in mind. But again, I'm open-minded. I still kind of stay with the traditional theory of this thing, which is approaching. And now with BP saying that it possibly could be in the asteroid belt, all of this stuff starts to make sense. Why we can't see it at certain times. Why we get all these manifestations all the time in these different sky cams like this. Okay? This one is interesting because it shows actually the lack of an object, and this is from Morocco, partially blocking out the sun. But again, it could be some kind of a photographic effect, but it does seem to look like a planet. So, just freaked me out, man. I used it as a thumbnail earlier today, but look at this. Now, this goes back to that sun, that blue dwarf sun maybe combining, eating our sun type thing. I don't know. But this is very, very interesting.
Prophecies.
And the effect that they got from this photograph.
Things are coming together as planned.
Now this one you say, okay, well there's a lens flare from this guy, but the problem with that is this one is behind the clouds, guys, okay? So when I have something that's behind the clouds like this, that's not a lens flare, that's actually there, okay? So the second thing you'll notice
different
is
orbs, different angels.
Possible orb here to the left of the sun. Again, just extremely compelling, you know, and again, guys, I'm telling you, you know, as this picture starts to come together and we start to see what's going on, it's a perfect time for you to give your heart to Christ. And what I mean by that is to really reach out and have God, you know, help you and talk to you and be your friend.
He doesn't understand. This is Christ. This anointed of the Greeks, this sun god, has the keys to the bottomless pit. I mean, watch I might drop this. I wasn't going to, but it was a Kanye West thing that I think it was Black Child did. Shout out to Black Child, showing, you know, the ties with the, you know, paparazzi, not the paparazzi, the that which they call the Illuminati, you know, and all this kind of stuff. Of course, no one has a name for this group, so they just call it that. So that's not the actual name of the group. But when you watch any of these fashion shows, you know, they start off with someone coming out with a key around their neck. This key represents Abaddon, Apollyon. The same Shiva thing, the same CERN, Switzerland thing, Hadron Collider. It's all the key, the key, the key, the key, the key. You go to, you know, all those big festivals and, what's those called? Yeah, you know, those festivals where everybody, not like Woodstock, but, you know, those are, you know, huge satanic type of festivals. But all the, you know, people go, and there's always about this key, oh, Tomorrowland. Research Tomorrowland and the whole key, getting the key. That's all the key. Someone's coming to get the key to the bottomless pit. He said, go to Christ right now. You could look up. He's coming, right? And when he says you have to go through him, you must go through Christ. The only way to get there is through me. Well, he's telling the truth, but it was twisted. Remember the uppercut? This Apollyon was telling you the truth. Abaddon was telling you the truth. Jesus was telling you the truth. You have to go through him to get to the bottomless pit. Everyone who does not vibrate above the firmament will have to go through Christ to get to the bottomless pit. He has the keys. So that's why he envisioned himself on the side of his father's throne, right? Because who's his father? Heya. What's his purpose? Confounding you. How many can I lead astray? How many can I lead astray? I'm the star of my own show. I'm the morning star, baby. Wasn't it funny you how he was called the morning star and Lucifer is called the morning star? I want to put that together. Now we got this dwarf star coming in, right? The size of what? Jupiter, Zeus. This is happening in real time. You saw Venezuela. Tie this together. This is happening while Venezuela's happening. Where should we go? Where is our vibration the highest? Maybe our ancestors knew better than we do.
So this next one from Sharon Ray Harbeck, this is actually the sun was reflecting on her house. There was like a couple places where the sun was reflecting on her house just openly. And she actually captured a picture of a multicolored orb on the side of her house that was reflecting from the sun. And then here's this is our weather cam down in Jennecott Airport. Again, seeing that large object down there, as we had seen earlier. Now on the 27th, just further corroborating and collaborating and validating that thing is there. So here's an interesting corroboration. So we get this image, sun, and then we see this kind of strange very strange shaped, you know, like orb with an inner orb and then a cross through the middle of it, which is green, a greenish color. And then you go to the Alt Skycam network, and we have been seeing a similar but less defined green object. I wonder if they're somehow connected. Interesting. Here's an interesting one from Addicted to Sports. Again, I had another one that was, call it altered.
What is it, people?
At 0450.
Who got answers?
Altered to show. But look, the reason that they altered it and sent me a fake is because they're trying to hide the fact that we've got, you know, Alt's evidence in this picture. So just ignore anything you've seen on that. Anywhere else, that's the real deal right there. This is the one that they tried to fake on me. But again, you can see that, you know, we caught it.
See, he catches the fakes. He catches the fakes.
And again, here's that blue thing behind the clouds. Some are calling it the blue Kachina. Here's one of our reverse rainbows happening. Very strange.
Look how strange these clouds are. I mean, is that natural?
And then here's where where we get this big light source, and then all of a sudden something blocking it, like a planet or other obstruction.
Wow.
Okay, so here are a bunch of things. I'm behind with Roy. Roy has been doing a lot of great work. So I'm just going to quickly go through his stack of stuff that he sent me, and then the objects are getting really close to the sun now, he has mentioned. This is from Winter Haven.
How much battery do I got? I got 3 minutes. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do it.
The object.
Let's see if I can pull it off, man. Just for you. 2 minutes. Oh. All right. So a little bit of this Hopi prophecy, this blue Kachina, red Kachina. Some of what we're seeing might match up to this. This is a story. I'll leave the link. The story of the blue Kachina is a very old story, very old. I have been aware of the story of the blue Kachina since I was very young. I was told this story by my grandfathers, who are now between 80 and 108 years old. It was told to me that the first blue Kachina would start to be seen at the dances and would make his appearance to the children in the plaza during the night dance. This event would tell us that the end times are very near. Then the blue Kachina would physically appear in our heavens and would mean that we were in the end times. In the final days, we'll look up in the heavens and we'll witness the return of the two brothers, the two bodies who helped create this world in the birthing time. Peganahoa is the guardian of the North Pole, and his brother Paganahoa is the guardian of the South Pole. In the final days, the blue Kachina will come to be with his nephew, and they will return the earth to its natural rotation, which is counterclockwise. So, again, comb through it for the babies. I just want to see what they have to say about this Kachina. We're talking about spinning earths. So this is fact. This fact is evidenced in my many petroglyphs that speak of the zodiac and within the Mayan and Egyptian pyramids. The return of the blue Kachina, who is also known as Nan Ga Sohu, will be the alarm clock that tells us of the new day and new way of life, a new world that is coming. That is where the changes will begin. That will start as fires that burn within us, and we will burn up with the desires and conflict if we do not remember the original teachings and the return to the peaceful way of life. So again, it says we will burn. They will start as fires that burn within us, and we will burn up with desires and conflict if we do not remember the original teachings. Those are the babies right there. Not the clockwise spinning stuff. This, all right? This is somebody's interpretation, so I'm trying to get the babies. This is not the actual prophecy, but this is somebody's interpretation of the prophecy. So I'll come back with the actual prophecy. But again, this is probably some native person's interpretation of the Hopi prophecy. So let me represent it. Talking about spinning counterclockwise on But yeah, it says, not far behind the twins will come the purifier, the red Kachina, who will bring the day of purification. On this day, the earth, her creatures, and all life as we know it will change forever. There will be messengers that will precede this coming of the purifier. They will leave messages to those on earth who remember the old ways. They will leave messages to those on earth who remember the old ways. Alright. Make sure we're good. Everything, man, everything is about remembering. Everything's about remembering. The old ways, the messenger, these are the babies we're getting out of it. You know what I'm saying? This person's interpretation of the Hopi prophecy, those are the babies that this person remembered, that I can tell and feel are coming straight from a source. Remembering the old ways is something that, you know, you don't just make up. So what old ways are we talking about? What children are we talking about? This return to old ways is our commandments. There's always the babies. That's the light in this thing. You know, who cares if the earth is spinning or not? I don't care. Look, like I said, I could be wrong about everything. You know, I'm doing my best to back it up. You know what I'm saying? But you're on a journey with me, and I appreciate it. But what's the babies? The babies is returning to our old ways. How and where do you return to your old ways? You got to return to your old land. Where's your old land? Technically everywhere. Specifically, you retrace the migration pattern, and you literally go back into it. Anybody that loves jujitsu, loves getting a scrap on, you know, when you got someone in the hold or you in the hold, you know, you can't try to scare your way out of it and freak out. You got to absorb into the lock and then work your way back into the lock. Pick back through the lock. Pick the lock. We got to pick the lock. We got to go back through. If we know we're dropping stuff on the Chaco and the all the stuff popping in the Zion National Park stuff and the Anasazi trails and that which they called Anasazi. Remember, they didn't call themselves that. Enemies of our ancestors. Come on, man. Who's the enemy of everybody's ancestors? Who on earth does everybody got a gripe with? Everyone looks, these. Like, what is your issue with me? What is your dog issue? Nah, man, but real talk. I mean, it's you know, it's getting better, but that has been the situation. And we can't wait for it to get better on its own. You know, we are the action that it takes. You know what I'm saying? You are it. You are the action it takes. Without you, there's no hope. It's not me. Again, I'm not doing YouTube forever. Honestly, I might have a few more weeks in me. Then I gotta, you know, lock down, man, and lay low. You know what I'm saying? So I won't be doing this all year long. This is not a popularity contest. I don't care how many, you know, I don't track that stuff. I'm doing my job. You know what I'm saying? Then I gotta do my job as a husband, as a father. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to, you know, trump it all, man. I gotta go inward within myself to know when I see chaos happening, right? So this is not a popularity thing. This is for the remnant. I'm leaving this published work for the remnant. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of drop. So I love y'all, man, and stay up, suit up, choose up, and you know what I'm saying, just be up, man. Knowing the truth should make you rejoice. You should not be lost in the sauce, man. You should not be angry at this message to prepare yourselves. Who gets angry at that? If you feel something in you, man, that's another energy. And you got to unplug these other entities and energy out of you bit by bit. You don't know how much you got. You don't know what your ancestors did. Some of our ancestors have sold us out. Some of them have bent the knee to Baal. And so these entities, you know, by their separate oaths and separate covenants, track you down and jam you up too. And you got to pick the lock out of those things, you know. You got to disconnect. And honestly, it's just all about vibrating. When you're vibrating in order, that stuff just peels off of you. It can't survive in the light. Darkness don't want to go nowhere near light, but light is not a religious concept. Light is literally vibration, energy. You may never meet me, but my energy's with you, right? Because there is no space. There's no time. The future me is the past me. You know, it's all a collaboration. It's all a dance. It's all a beautiful dance. So know what you're watching, what you're seeing is going to be a beautiful dance. For you, it's time to rejoice. For you, it's time to return to your old ways. Huh? Only people telling you your commandments are done And this are the people who took that cross and slaughtered you with it. Slaughtered your family in front of you with it. Stabbed you with it. Burned you up with it. Gave you an idol of wood. Made you walk around stone. And said, this is where the power is. When Heya says, I exist. When I breathed my ruach in you, it was a direct energy transfer. It was not to be hijacked. Get back to the direct energy transfer again. It's only energy. We're in the energy business. So I love y'all, man. See y'all next time. And, vibrate, feel good, rejoice, man. And Heya all day.